All right. I think we're live. Let me get this slide. Let me get this deck up here. All right. Let's see. How far behind are we? Present everyone. What time is it? 10 after?
Yes.
All right. Let's give it a few more minutes.
We can do. I ended up not bringing up whole businesses.
So you've been handing out raffle tickets?
Yes, but if you don't even know, what is the reason missing the
I'm missing.
All right. So be sure to sign in if you haven't done so already, and get a raffle ticket. Tonight's raffle is for a Vivo Smart Garmin fitness monitor thing, kind of a Fitbit sort of deal. So.
Upload the lack of your activity to the net.
Exactly. Let everybody know how lethargic you are, how much of a sloth you are.
And
All right.
I exercise a lot on the giving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I run miles in mine too. I have crazy.
All right. So, like I said, we're just going to give it a few more minutes. Let me get a bite here.
They have sauce for the, they have sauce for the meat if you want.
I might get some while Steve does the presentation.
I'll get you some if you want some.
No. I'm only going to spend a few minutes with my part of the presentation. And I've actually configured it to use that microphone. I think for those of you that are new or haven't been to our other meetings recently, this year, one of the things that we're trying to do this year is stream our meetings. And I'm not really very skilled at the audiovisual side of this kind of stuff. So I'm just kind of winging it. Either I can't get the video to work, or I can't get the sound to work right. I forget to, like today, I forgot I recently, for my laptop, I have a DP port. So I usually have a DP to DVI adapter, right? For, to try and be flexible with the environments that we visit. And I recently used it to fix a customer's problem recently, and I made a mental note to myself to order a replacement, and then give my boss the receipt, so he can bill off the customer.
Did you bring up a spice ticket for that?
Yeah, I forgot to make a ticket for it. Anyway, so I forgot to order a replacement DP to DVI adapter. So today I'm like scrambling, trying to figure out how to get the stuff on the slide on the monitor here. So Dan was nice enough to lend us his laptop. So so it looks like we got the streaming going. Let me just switch to the room real quick. All right, so it's a quarter after. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So let me switch back to the slideshow here to broadcast and share it with the live stream. Well, another thing about the live stream is because we're doing it through Google Hangouts on air, when the live stream is simultaneously being copied or stored on YouTube. So we have a YouTube channel. So if you want to go back and look at some of the attempts that I've done with the live streams and laugh at how inept I am, be my guest. But we're trying. It is helping to record the meetings and just another way for folks to participate in our group. All right, so tonight is our 48th meeting, or today I should say. This afternoon is our 48th meeting. We started about 4 years ago, and now we're up to meeting 48. I think it was really cool. Today's sponsor is Peak 10. They were kind enough to let us come to their facility and have a look around at their data center and tell us why they're such a their best data center to get in the area, whatever. So let's go ahead and go on to the next slide here. Where's my slide? Where's my slides? Oh, how did I do that? Mouse. Where's the full screen thing? Where's the full screen option? All right, well, anyway, so here's tonight's agenda, or today's agenda. I keep saying tonight, we normally meet 6 to 8 p.m. So here's today's agenda. We're gonna just cover some spice news, just a couple of things, and then we'll turn it over to Steve for his presentation. We'll take a tour of the facility, and then we'll come back to do an open discussion, time permitting, raffle and some swag, and we'll give a list of the upcoming meetings. All right, so the Spice News, they recently had the Spice World London last week on the 10th and the 11th. I believe Katie went to that. Unfortunately, for those of you who are new, Katie is the other admin for the group. She lives out in Pinellas County. Unfortunately, she's not here. She couldn't get out of work. But she did do a presentation of some kind of speaking event at the Spice World London. This is actually her second visit to London, and that was pretty cool. So I'm not sure what it's going to be next year, but if you guys want to go visit London and maybe attend the Spice World, it'll be sometime this time of year next year. So go ahead and try to plan for that. Let's see, as far as Spice World Austin, Texas, it's the 1st to the 3rd of November at the Austin Convention Center, which is in downtown Austin. And it's currently, the tickets are $2.99 till the 8th of July, where it'll probably go up to $3.99, perhaps $4.99. So the closer we get to the event, the higher the tickets go. So plus lodging, it spans several days. So you want to, get reservations. Now, if you go to the Spice World website, they have links to get discounts at some of the hotels in the area. So there are substantial discounts. They may still seem expensive, but it's cheaper than just going without their discount. So, but I think I'm not sure what the availability is by this time of year. So
Getting thinner and thinner.
yeah, so you're going to have to get further and further out. And of course, the further out you go, then transportation to and from the event becomes more of a challenge. But anyway, there you go. Let's see. So one of the things I'm doing now is I'm tracking the different versions of the applications. Now, when SpiceWorks started, it was just essentially SpiceWorks, one app that did help desk, user portal, software and hardware inventory. It monitored systems, and you could do reports and have it give out alerts. So it was kind of like an all-in-one kind of app. You didn't have to use it all, just but it gave you all these bells and whistles. But now they have this network monitor, which is designed, and we had actually Chris gave us a presentation last month because he uses it at his facility, and he gave us here, he actually demonstrated how he uses it. It was a really well-received demonstration. So I got a lot of great feedback from that. So thank you very much again. So what I'm doing is I'm showing you the two different versions. So I'm just going to refer to the original SpiceWorks just as the asset manager, because that's like one of its biggest things is scanning the network for inventory, where this is designed to monitor your critical systems, switches, routers, servers. And it's not so much about inventory. It's about is everything working? So here are current versions as of today. It changed from this to 75 to 87, and then we went up a couple of versions. couple versions on the network monitor. Anyway, Spice World. I wonder how they get away with the Spice World name, considering it was copyrighted to that movie. I don't know. I never really understood
I'm
that.
sure they had to pay someone.
I would think. All right, so we're going to turn it over to Steve. If you're ready, Steve. Okay. You know, one of the things I do when I do my slides, I kind of search for the vendor and see what kind of images I can find. And I don't know if you've ever noticed, if you've ever done a search on Peak 10, apparently there's like a series of fitness videos. So I always like adding that. Anyway, does anybody know do you guys happen to know who this is? Is that like owner or CEO or something? He looks important. This is actually on one of the Peak 10 sites, or it used to be anyway.
Dave.
Is that you?
That's Dave Cullen.
No, it's not. That is, no, it's the old GM from Fort Lauderdale, Stefan Pittenger. That's who that is.
All right, so we're going to switch over to you, right?
Yeah, I'll just take that.
All right.
How long, 10 minutes? What do you think?
As long as you need. Take your time.
As long as I need.
Yeah. If it's 10 minutes is all you need, that's good.
Don't give me.
Yeah. You don't have to rush. Is all I'm trying to say. Okay.
You know, you just roll it.
Okay. Let me see where we are with the live stream real quick.
They came here to see our tour guide, all right? They just didn't know our tour guide also is our president.
Okay. All right. Cool. We're
Two
good.
for one here.
It's a twofer. I'm so sorry. Very sorry for you guys. So thanks for joining us here today. You're sitting in Tampa 3. This is the latest, most recent data center for Peak 10. This is a new flagship design that we have. And what we did is we looked around the area and said, all right, who has the best data center? Okay, that's what it looks like. Oh, okay, we're going to do it 5 times better, which is what we did here in this facility. We'll go around and I'll show you a few of those things. But just a little bit about Peak 10. We're an infrastructure company. So infrastructure, it's a very, very broad term, but infrastructure in the data center business, so co-location services. Also cloud, we deliver cloud as infrastructure as a service, which basically means you don't have to run any of the virtualization stuff or the hardware or anything, but you still get all of your operating system instances. Here they are. You get full admin control over them. They're Windows, Linux, whatever it is. It looks just like it's running next to you. It's just not running next to you, and you didn't have to pay for all that hardware. So another one of the services that Peak 10 provides, as well as managed services and on top of that. So managed security, managed servers, backups, just a very big a la carte menu of different things. So those are the things there. The tech partners that we have, we are strategically aligned with several: Cisco, VMware EMC, NetApp, Zerto, a lot of those. For certifications and compliance, compliance is a very, very big thing. It's one of the reasons why a lot of customers move in here is because they don't want to try and do it themselves, right? So, for PCI, for HIPAA, there's a lot of controls and things, and governance and compliance is a really big, heavy burden for some of these companies. So to move into a data center that already has all those things, well, then it just becomes them checking off a box there. Hey, I've got this. They just take our report, hand it over to the auditor. The auditor goes, oh, you're Peak 10? Yeah, fine. Everything's good. So SSA 16, SOC 2, Safe Harbor, ISO 27001, the whole alphabet soup is, there. We actually have a guy, his name's David Kidd, which is funny because compliance people normally don't kid, but he's actually a really big joker. But he loves this stuff, and I love that he loves this stuff because I don't love this stuff, and so we can just hand it. Hey, go talk to David Kidd. He'll take care of everything. We have a whole department that takes care of that, and then we have external auditors that audit us on an annual basis too. So here's what Peak 10's footprint looks like from a data center perspective. The little cloudy symbols that you see there are where we have our cloud infrastructure located. These are all Peak 10 data centers. The red dots are our field and sales offices. We have 27 data centers across the fleet. So here in Tampa, some of you, I think, I recognize some of the faces have seen the Tampa 1 and 2 campus that we have. We filled those up. Those sit dead full, and so hence the reason why we built this one.
Yeah, we had a tour of that about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So the model Peak 10 has is build it, fill it, build it, fill it, build it, fill it. So we have 4 data centers, I think, right now under construction, additional. So we'll be at 31 here shortly. And it's all just due to, everybody says everything's moving to cloud. And okay, there's a lot of cloud stuff going on, but there's still a ton of colo stuff. And hence the reason why we continue to build these facilities and move people into them. A couple of differentiators that Peak 10 has is a very, why we're different from other colo and cloud providers. Number one is we have a local presence for our customers here. It's a very high touch consultative approach that we have, as opposed to, hey, you want some colo? Here's your quote. No, we want to understand what it is that you're trying to do so that we can help solve those problems. And that's what my job is. My job is my job title is a senior solutions architect. But what I do is I understand companies' business problems and translate those into technical solutions and how we can help them. We are an extremely flexible company. So when you deal with telecoms, very inflexible, right? Billing departments and nobody has any power, no one can make decisions. Well, Peak 10 has a more distributed model where we have a VP that's here in this market. We make the financial decisions and the contractual decisions ourselves for this market based off of the type of customer that is here in this market. The type of customer that's here is completely different from the type of customer that's up in, say, Cincinnati, right? Or even down in South Florida. Completely different. You got to deal with them in different ways. So we have that autonomy to work with our customers in that way. Well, let's skip that one. Here's the stack. Oh, boy, it's starting to blow out there. It's gonna be a big rainstorm. I saw it on the radar.
Fire up the generators.
Yeah, don't say that.
We're gonna see a DR test.
We don't talk about those things. Just make people very
I thought we were gonna let one of them fire it up.
Here. Yeah. Sure. We call this the stack, and this is our services stack. It starts down here with all the services that we provide with the data center, the network services, cloud, and then all the way up through managed security, data protection, and all those different things. I could talk on that for about 16 hours, but we're not going to. We're going to go through and see the data center. I guess the other thing that we'll talk about now is cloud. Peak 10 offers a couple of different types of cloud services. First and foremost, our cloud was built for production enterprise class workloads, it's not stuff that we have just white box stuff sitting around over here. There are companies such as Chobani, Yogurts, Chiquita Banana that are running a couple of hundred VMs themselves in Peak 10's cloud. And you can imagine running those types of businesses, downtime's not really an option. The PGA of America runs the scoring and ticketing system for their golf tournament events within Peak 10's cloud. So failure is not an option there for that. And some people think, well, it's Thursday through Sunday. It's not. It actually starts on Monday. But for that entire week, you can't have a hiccup. I mean, you can't. A couple of years ago, Tiger Woods was playing in one of the tournaments when he was still really great and big and good. And they had a huge, enormous spike in traffic going to the sites. The Peak 10 team was able to respond and deploy additional resources for them, just like that. They never saw a hiccup. The CTO is like, oh my gosh, I could lose my job here for this. This was the U.S. Open. I could lose my job, and he didn't, because we were there partnering with them to help them respond. Not, hey, whatever the heck with you, just like an Amazon type of scenario or an Azure, someplace where you're a number, but we're there partnering with that customer, looking and watching and helping. So there's a lot of hand holding that goes on there. So that's the Peak 10 public or multi-tenant cloud. You can deploy systems as you need to, increase, decrease resources. It's all on a shared platform, completely secure. It's audited to the PCI and HIPAA standards, so still completely secure. For other customers that need they either have complex workloads, large VMs, or heavy compliance issues where their auditor has still stuck back in the 60s and doesn't believe in cloud, we can then provide hosted private cloud, which gives you dedicated compute, dedicated storage, dedicated resources. Everything is dedicated to you, but we still manage that platform for you. And it looks exactly like, because it's on the same platform as what our public cloud is on. So it's easy for us to manage, and it feels basically just the same as what the multi-tenant does, but you've got, it's your own resources that you have there. And then the third thing is Recovery Cloud. Recovery Cloud is really all around disaster recovery. So, replicating VMs either from one of Peak 10's clouds into Recovery Cloud to provide that DR protection, or reaching down into customers' infrastructure on premise, replicating those VMs out into Peak 10's Recovery Cloud. At that point, if there ever is a disaster or an event, you call us up, say, hey, I've got, I need some help. I need to spin up my systems. Push the button, we'll start the VMs up. You can then begin to use and consume those resources. When you're ready and you've recovered from whatever event happened, reverse replication goes back into that, and then you declare a maintenance window, push the button again, and then fail that workload back over into that new production arena. That make sense?
Now, in previous presentations, VR was limited, as far as the VMs were limited to VMware platforms, or have you?
Oh, Dan, come. Sorry, I'm sorry, go ahead.
In previous presentations that I've seen, your VR VM thing was limited to VMware platforms.
Yep.
Is that still the case?
No, we cover Hyper-V. Support has come out now for Hyper-V, so we can cover Hyper-V systems as well. We can also do, it's done a little bit different than this. We can also do physical machines, if need be. It can be done that way. The cool thing about how we perform the replication, it's a CDP solution, continuous data protection, so it's real time. So as changes are written down to disk, those changes are automatically replicated and immediately replicated to the Peak 10 Recovery Cloud. We don't have to install any software into the guest or into the VM. Similar to double take, where you've got to install something there, we don't have to install anything. We run at the hypervisor level, which is what this is showing. We capture write requests that are going down to the disk. Grab that, write requests only, not read. So only the writes. If your VM sits there and doesn't do anything during the day, there's no real traffic that's being sent. But any of those write requests, we take them after the initial sync is done, mirror them out to Recovery Cloud, and it just continues to do that all day. It's a very write-intensive platform, but it's a very simple thing because we don't have to worry about software upgrades into each individual VM. We don't deal with those things. And then some of the managed services that we provide, it's sort of, here's the lunch menu for today. HIP as a service, PCI as a service for managed security, management of Windows and Linux servers, management at the application layer for SQL servers, Exchange servers, and then also data protection, which backups, off-site backups, object-based storage, just a whole host of other services that we can provide. All these things are a la carte for our customers. Take advantage of what you want, but if you don't need it and you have the staff and you guys can take care of it, then that's fine too. But we're always here to educate you about our services and to help you where you and your team needs help. Everyone familiar with hybrid IT and hybrid workload solutions? So hybrid IT is one of those new, it's sort of the cloud 2.0 term, that's marketing term that's out there. Hybrid IT is really around working with companies the way that they actually work and not trying to shove them into a box. So companies have, especially some of your medium-sized companies, they have AS400s, right? There's still a ton of mainframes that are out there. You don't virtualize those. Those don't go up into the cloud. So recognizing and understanding that those companies still want to make use of cloud resources, but they're always going to have this big mainframe, or they're going to have Oracle or some other things that just don't virtualize really all that well. Peak 10's data center and cloud infrastructure is built for hybrid IT workloads. You can take and say, if we just pick on our Atlanta market where we have cloud resources, you can consume cloud resources up there, and you can take your AS400, ship that up there, have that live in the Peak 10 data center, have it connected on the same VLAN, the same layer 2 network to those cloud resources, so it looks like it's all the same LAN and network. I challenge you to go out to other cloud providers and see how they're going to accomplish that. Well, you can create a VPN tunnel between here and that's great, but there's this little nasty term that always comes back to bite some, especially some of the older applications, and it's a term called latency, right? Which you can't get around. It's the laws of physics. Speed of light is, can only go so fast. I know from here to Atlanta, on our backbone is about 13 milliseconds. So that comes out to 26 milliseconds round trip. And then if you have a very chatty application, that's not good. We have a customer that's trying to move their IBM mainframe They want to move it from here up to Poughkeepsie, which is always fun to say because it's up in New York. IBM is going to manage those mainframes for them up there. And then they're going to move all their other stuff into Peak 10 here. Well, the problem is that when they've done some initial testing with moving some of their applications up there, the report that took 6 to 7 seconds that runs down here, when they moved it up to there, now takes 6 to 7 minutes to run. Why is that? It's batch, all this back and forth data transfer, and it's not 13 milliseconds up to New York. It's probably 30, 35 to get up there. So those are some challenges, but that's what hybrid IT is for Peak 10, is it allows you to still make use of physical resources or whatever it is that you have, and whether it's here in this data center, it's in a cloud data center, our platforms and our data centers are built to support those types of things. And then here again is the alphabet soup. Everybody know what SSA 16 is? It's the replacement for what was SAS 70. It's a level of compliance that just shows that you have processes and controls and procedures in place to do what you're supposed to do. There is a SOC 1 report that is done, which a lot of people out there have. The SOC 1 report is it's an overall business verification. Right? Do you have controls? Do you have separation of duties? But SOC 2, which they came out with, SOC 2 is a technology company focused report on compliance. So when you're looking at your vendors, service providers, you want to make sure that they've got a SOC 2 report, not just a SOC 1. A SOC 1 looks at it and says, okay, you're a technology company. As a technology company, you should be doing these types of things. And also a type 2, there's a type 1 and a type 2 audit. A type 1 audit is point in time where they'll audit you and say, yep, hey, today, everything, you did everything right. That's fantastic. Type 2 looks back at the previous at least 6 months. We go back 12 months, so we do it for each year. And it looks at, hey, did you do all the oil changes on the generators? You say that you run test them on a weekly basis. Did you do all that? So they're checking every single thing and then produce a report based off of that. PCI level 1, safe harbor, ISO 27001. So that's on the compliance side. And then from a competency perspective, extremely tightly with Cisco. Our cloud platform is based off of Cisco technologies, not just the network, but we use CS computing platform for that. We are a Cisco cloud provider, certified provider with designations on the IAS side as well as the DRAS side. And it's third-party audited. There's a prescriptive architecture that you have to go through and put in place, which we work tightly with Cisco. We were the first company in the Americas to get this DRAS designation. And why was that? Because we helped Cisco build and design what that architecture looked like. So once again, go out when you're talking to your other cloud providers. Do they have stuff like this? It does mean something. It means that we sort of know what the heck we're doing. But we are extremely tightly aligned with Cisco and with the rest of our partners. So, you want to do a tour? Yeah?
Yeah, if you're ready.
Yeah, we can.
All right, any questions before we start the tour? All right.
So a couple of things before we go on the tour. Everything can stay in here. This is a secured environment. No liquids, no pictures. There's a guy that will jump out of a corner and tackle you if you try and take a picture. And then
I'll be the guy.
Not my TAC manager. I don't know. He's Doug. I don't think you met him. He wasn't the guy that checked you in.
There's a little guy.
Yeah. No, not him. We keep him in the room. That's all completely fine. I'm going to take you. It's going to be quick. I'll take you back into some of these areas. Normally we don't like people to be grumpy, but I want, like you, I want everybody to be grumpy like this. Cross your arms. When your arms are crossed or your hands are in your pockets, you won't touch anything. Seriously, you touch certain buttons back there, or you knock into something bad could happen, and you wouldn't want that. We'd have to call the cops. So let's not do that. Oh, and then one final thing. This can be like herding cats. This can take 15, 20 minutes, or this can take an hour. If I have to herd you, then it's not going to be much fun for anybody. So there's one of the big guys right there.
All right, so for anybody who happens to be live streaming, I don't think anyone is. Well, it says one viewer, but it could be me. Anyway. Anyway, so we're going on our tour, and all right, so I've got that slide up on the
Don't
live
touch
stream.
anything, guys. I know how technology people.
I'm All right, we're back. All right. Wow, that was an excellent little
Yeah,
tour.
thank you.
I liked
Round
it.
of applause
Any
for the
other-
tour guide over there.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions, like,
Hey, that was great. That was fine.
all right. So any last questions regarding maybe procedure? You know, like if I wanted to sign up for, if I wanted to
Hey, call this guy right here.
talk to that guy?
Who's signing up? Come on, who's signing up?
I'm impressed. I have to find you.
Yeah, all right.
Cool. All right, so let me,
Hand out cards to everybody.
Yeah, I'll be at the door. I'll be.
Okay.
In there, promise.
All right. So we took a tour of the Tampa 2 facility a couple years ago, as I mentioned earlier in the meeting, and that was a lot of fun. It's over on, I guess, or Citrus Park.
Veterans and, veterans living here, the AMC.
Right, but it's like in the northwest part of the county versus this is the northeast part of the county, so. And then they have the Tampa 1 and Tampa 2 facilities there, but just as impressive as this, I think. But this is the latest, greatest stuff, right? Anyway, so I'm not sure why open discussion thing's not showing, but anyway, this is part of the meeting where we just go around the room, introduce ourselves. So I'll go ahead and kick off. I'm Jeff Hughes. Show of hands, who's here for the first time at a meeting? The 3-4. Interesting, because our Tampa 2 visit a couple years ago, we only had like 2 regular, 2 members who had been to a meeting before. Everybody else was like new, and we had about this many. There were a lot of folks who had come down from, there were some folks that came up from Fort Myers and a couple folks that came down from Gainesville last time. And they came down on the company dime, as a business related trip, checking out a colo. Again, it was Tampa 2. Tampa 3 they were just breaking ground, I think, for Tampa 3, or they had talked about it, or they mentioned it during the Tampa 2 tour. So anyway, I'm just glad that we've finally been able to get in here and take a look. It's very impressive, very impressive. All right. So now as far as what I do, I don't work for Spiceworks, in case you're wondering about that. I work for a local IT company that helps small and medium-sized businesses with their IT needs. So I'm just involved with the community. I agreed to help facilitate the group, and along with my co-admin Katie, who's not here today. So we schedule these meetings, and we just try to have a variety of speakers, and like I said, we have an opportunity to come into a place like this, and it benefits them because they're able to show off their stuff to a whole group of people versus just 1 or 2 customers at a time. So
Yes, thank you.
yeah, so maybe we'll do it again in a couple of years and try to take a mental image, because we couldn't take pictures, right? Take a mental image of.
That's clear, right?
Well, with your Google Glass, I guess you could have, right?
Well, I got the pen,
Yeah, right. But no, I mean, I'm just trying to take a mental image of what that room looked like, and if I come back maybe next year, or a couple of years, to see how much it's grown as far as the floor space being taken out. I think it might be. It might be, and I think that would be interesting. So, anyway, let's go to you, sir.
My name is Larry Berman. I was a full-time IT manager up until June last year. I've been kind of freelancing. I am kind of retired, and so I'm not working too hard.
You live in the area?
I live in South Hillsborough County, the retirement community of Sun City Center.
We've got a couple of customers down there. So how'd you hear about this meeting?
I get advertisements from Spiceworks, and found out that they had a users group, and I said, nice opportunity to meet fellow IT-minded people.
Ah.
And you guys sound like you have a great thing going for yourselves, some good agendas.
I like to think we're of the Spice core groups. I like to think we're one of the best. But, just because we're so active, I mean, there's a lot of groups that only meet a couple times a year, maybe once a quarter. So anyway, awesome. Thank you for coming. Ed?
Hi.
By the way, Ed's a longtime member. He was at the first meeting along with me. So give him a lot of respect.
And we worked on the local user group logo together.
Yeah, absolutely. The logo was actually, it was kind of my idea, but he's the one that actually did the paint shop thing. Photoshop.
Look at this.
Yes. Originally, I had a skull on there, but it was a little too negative looking.
Well, plus it was like because when you actually visit our forum, the logo is very tiny, and the skull and the thing was just too small
Too little
to actually
space.
see when it was like real small. So
So if you look at my avatar headshot for in the Spiceworks group, it is the skull that we were using. So
that we
came in handy.
that we tried out.
I'm a local IT consultant type. Wandering around looking at cool stuff, seeing cool places. By the way, the tour was awesome, and this is actually now you guys surpassed the best one in the area, which was the CenturyLink Cyber Center, Quest old Cyber Center, which was what set the bar in my mind for this area. But now you guys topped it. It's really nice. Thank you. Did everything they did and then some. You don't have, you aren't gonna hail on us out if someone pulls the fire switch.
I take full credit.
Good engineering. Nice.
You're welcome.
All right, next.
I'm Adam Ford, and I'm an IT consultant as well. I'm also a software developer. I was introduced by my good friend Lee, who's been trying to get into one of these things for over a year now. Actually, I've been a client of Tampa One since about 2002. So we've got some colo equipment over there.
Wow.
Real big fan of P10.
Lee Michael, Chief Operations Officer at Wauchula, what bank am I at now? First National Bank of Wauchula, and we are a Big Ten client. I think we're over at Tampa 2, maybe. But Ed and I had a chance to tour this facility during construction, so it was nice to see it while the power floor was still dirt. They were hauling the dirt. But so that was nice to come and tour that. We had a chance to come see it again once it was finished out. I would agree. This is now the premier data center here in the Tampa region, and it's now one of Florida's premier centers. It is on par with what they call data site over in Orlando, which is a massive facility, and I toured that one. It's a purpose-built, not in a warehouse, but retrofit, and you don't have a tenant at the other end who leaves a coffee pot on and tries to burn the whole place down. So those are some of those things that you look at when you're looking at a data center. You find out, oh, yeah, this used to be a grocery store, didn't it?
Thanks for that. It's we are different than the other co-location providers. We do more than just colo. What we do well. But we recognize that the company will continue to grow and evolve, and they need/want other services. Not everybody. Some people just want colo. As I talked about that hybrid IT environment that we're moving towards. We see it as it's fun. We see it as the cyclical or circular type of relationship we have with some customers. We'll have some that are all in colo, and then a new CIO comes in, and he shuts everything cloud. And then, a year and a half later, another CIO comes in. What does he do? No, the heck with this cloud thing. We're going all back to colo. And he pulls it all back into that. So we're there. We try and provide as many services. All of our data centers are interconnected, so for DR, you don't have to go and find another data center. You don't have to provision your own pipes. You can customer IP and backup together. So, I mean, for us, it's more than just a co-location facility. It's being able to provide solutions to solve those businesses' problems. I know that it sounds a little salesy, but going at it as a hey, look, I'll give you co-location. That's not how it works. You need to be able to solve a business's problem. If they don't have a problem, then, why are you talking to them? There's no reason to talk to them at that point.
Awesome.
Mount Randolph, I'm with Audit Ally. If you don't have a problem, I'll find one. So that kind of solution. I'm a CPA and a CISA. I was invited by Lee to come visit with your group. I know a lot of people use Deep Tennis. I know a lot of people use Spiceworks. I want to get a little more information, get a little more involved in that kind of thing. That's part of my job. I like to learn a little bit about IT while I'm doing the audits, so that my recommendations sometimes make a little sense. Just something straight out of the book. So I appreciate the opportunity to see this and learn a little bit.
Yeah. Because, a lot of times we sit at our systems and we're browsing the internet, we're checking Outlook, and we sometimes forget, all of this has to run through this equipment somewhere, whether it's at our work center, whether it's just going out to, through Bright House or whatever. Somewhere in all of this is equipment like this in a facility like this, going out around the world, coming back at the speed of light. It's really amazing when you think about it. We take it for granted, which is fine, but it's really amazing engineering accomplishment for us, I think, as humans, as a species. But awesome. So CPA audit guy, but so now, now that the more you're exposed to IT, the more you can detect the BS when you're doing your audits. Is that what it is?
Yeah, like it's a feature. It's not a feature. I'll go with that.
Cool. Your turn.
Rick Niesman, I'm the IT director for an organization called Park. Been there about 5 years. Contracted with them nearly 20. I was a consultant before that. Nonprofit world is different. Very different. Hot and cold, it's starting to get hot again, so we're getting some equipment in. And I've been very busy for the last year. With new equipment, previous to that was duct tape and staples. Keeping 10-year-old equipment running. Trying to phase all that out right now. Looking at possibly co-location. We need to go to our tier 3 disaster recovery once we find money. But that is the most part of next year. I've seen the other Tampa facility over by the airport. I don't know what number that is. That was years ago.
1 and 2.
Yeah, that was impressive. And we're only about a quarter of a rack. That's probably what we're doing. It was neat. It was neat to see her.
Absolutely. Chris?
Chris Pagan. I've been for City Treasure Island. Been there a little over a year now. And I think I'm just fine for a while.
Yeah, you're a regular member now.
A year. Yeah. Or almost immediately. Notice they would use a Spiceworks. Well, they had Spiceworks installed on one of our application servers. I want to see what this is. Start playing with it. We just started really kicking in high gear in Spiceworks. City manager, I think seems he likes it. So now he's looking at it. So we got to use it more.
Well, I mean, like, you're out, like your demonstration last month showed, I mean, you're really utilizing the network management or monitor functions.
Right.
But the base application, it's kind of a, one size fit all kind of thing. But you don't have to use all of it. But I mean, I've met people who just use the help desk part and the user portal. I've met people who just use the inventory part. So
we use the ticketing side. We don't necessarily use the user end of the help desk half of it. We use more of the tech side of it.
Sure.
And then of course the inventory. The new when it came out, the update really fixed up a lot of the issues we had with the inventory.
Remember, I think last time we were talking about, I was having a difficult time
Mhm.
removing, abandoned devices and things on the network, the inventory. This will really make it a little easier.
Mhm.
Group deletion. Things. Yeah, the network monitor. Yeah. With a city the size of ours, anything that incurs extra cost, and the commission's not gonna look at it.
Mhm.
It's one of those things where, yeah, everything's really tight, you're in the same boat, and everything's about cost. And, so that with monitoring spice works are right up our alley. It works great, and does what we want to do.
Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything but time.
Nope, we don't mind the ads on it.
Yeah.
I've seen where other organizations, cities and stuff, they use the help desk feature outside of IT for other departments.
You can definitely do it.
So
We
that
use
might
it
be
for our
some
main
options to
items.
consider.
We just opened up SpiceWorks, in a router, ordered it out, so now I can get it if I'm got Wi-Fi here, or whatever, I just tap into our ticketing system from remote.
Right.
We haven't tried to do it since then, but since last meeting we had.
Right.
Working through it, and I'm like, I wanna give it a shot, why not?
I think they just put out a new or updated phone app for the ticketing system. You also have hashtags, things you can do, like if you can send an email to the ticketing system, or like to whatever email account you've set up to monitor. You have, like, there's a whole bunch of hashtags you can use to update your tickets just through sending an email. So we might cover that. I don't know, we'll cover it next month, but I'll put that, have it on my agenda to cover this year.
It's
kind of-
helped us for our maintenance department, and that's why we used it, because they all carry phones around.
Mhm.
They can update the ticket, they can accept the ticket or sign the ticket all through their phone.
All right, like I said, and
You
with,
don't have to run back to the.
and if you start learning some of the hashtag stuff, you can just update your tickets through emails. Just sending an email with the right hashtags to let's say support account or whatever, it'll update the ticket.
Yeah, it's simple enough with our maintenance guys.
Yeah.
We love
Cool.
it, we have them carry phones around.
Yeah. All right, Erwin, your turn.
Yeah, I'm Irving. About 1 year independent consultant contractor. I keep after getting unemployed. And I guess it works, I make money.
There you go. You're making money.
Yeah.
You got food on the table, roof over your head.
No projects, but I did install in my office and have one to the golf club that I monitor
Uh-huh.
over the main line, and it does not take up that much bandwidth at all.
Nice, nice.
So the users, they are surfing the internet, taking up more bandwidth, and the network one does.
Cool.
It's pretty cool too.
Yeah, yeah. All right, awesome. George?
George Benoris, I'm with Tidewell Health Systems in Sarasota. I've been coming to SpiceWorks since I think meeting 2.
Yeah.
I missed some in between, but it's a great community for anybody that's looking to join an IT community. It's definitely a great community. With wealth of knowledge on the forums that you can go surf and find answers to some questions. I've toured Peak 10 a couple times. This is my, I think, 3rd time. So I've toured 1 and 2 as well, and remember the buzz when we were talking about building this one. So.
Right, I remember when they were
Kinda
talking
neat to
about
see it.
breaking ground
It's
and all that
pretty
stuff.
awesome.
You were just waiting for number 3 to be built before you moved in, right?
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
I'm Stephen Engebretson.
What was that?
Stephen Engebretson, and I work for Tidewell
Is
Health
that right?
Systems also. And I had posted on SpiceWorks that we were looking for a person, that's when we hired George.
Got hired through SpiceWorks.
There you go. Yeah, sometimes some of the folks who visit our message board, they'll put up job postings. And there's a case where, someone actually
SpiceWorks comes through.
helped out, got them connected. So.
I've used SpiceWorks at a previous company, and at this new one, we're a nonprofit, but we're a nonprofit that isn't short on money. So we're one of the
It's like finding a unicorn, right?
We have found the golden unicorn. So yeah, but we've got a lot of projects going.
Neat.
This is great to tour this facility because we're not real pleased with our current facility.
Can I take a guess? High velocity?
No.
No, okay.
No, we're at the century line.
Okay.
Is it the customer service?
There's just a lot of stuff. It's just little bits, you know.
All right.
Is that a consensus over there that you talk to the other people, or is it a one-off thing?
Yeah, I don't know, I guess we don't really talk to other people about it. It's just, you know, there's little things that we just don't like.
Hmm.
You know, so we're considering moving. I was a customer over there for 9 years, when I was on the other side, the dark side.
No, you're the dark side now.
Right, when I was on the light side. But it was, I mean, as I talked about, it's a telecom. And when Scott Moore worked there, it was fantastic, because Scott helped navigate what was Quest, which is a big email pain in the butt. You know, then he left, and it was, he's
Hell.
Yeah,
It's hell when you left.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna come around and say it.
Yeah.
Customer service sucked after you left.
Tell us how you really feel. Don't hold anything back.
Well, Scott Moore, you know Scott Moore. Yeah. Enough said, that guy was awesome. You guys been there for a long time. And
very,
you know, when he left, everything just went.
the same thing.
Basically, one person, you know, the effect that they can have on an organization like that. He definitely had one of the reasons I stayed and didn't pick up and move my stuff to be there. I had 15 racks. And that was the other reason why I didn't want to move, because moving 15 racks and 4 Class C IP spaces just wasn't as much fun. So, but otherwise I've been able to do it.
Neat.
Scott's your competitor now.
Did you work for
Didn't he work for some outfit in Orlando?
data site?
Or Navy?
All right. Well, then, any last shares before we move on to the next? All right, so this is essentially why everybody comes, right? For the swag and goods. All right, does everybody have a raffle ticket that wants a raffle ticket? All right. Rory, you want to do the honor?
Lincoln was getting 2 rounds.
He was at
Earth, right?
He was at Earthquake before.
He was at Earth.
Hey.
But then he moved on.
Now it's.
Somebody does not have their ticket, but they won't say who.
Now it's Synoptic.
Yeah, I've talked to them a couple times since he's moved.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah, everybody's ready.
What are we raffling on?
It's a fitness monitor thing.
What is it? Oh, nice.
It's like a Fitbit, but different.
4, 6, 8. 1.
Who's still in? Who's still in?
1. 3.
Oh, all right, George.
Hey, George!
Fitness, yeah.
All right, let me get a phone on.
Hold on, getting you units right here. George.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Throw it on a fan and see what happens.
Well, that, we're kind of, it's only 3:30-ish, 3:40. So normally we take up, the 2 hours, but there's not much more we can do. Is there any swag available for Peak 10? We got some pens, we got some notepads. I'm guessing there's still plenty of food and snacks and whatever left in the break room.
I put most of it away, but if anybody sounds, I did leave out a tray.
Okay, yeah, so if you guys are still want a munchie before you go,
I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Before we break apart, because see if anybody knows the answer, to it, I don't know. If we have Spiceworks, let's say I have my Spiceworks app on here, right?
Uh-huh.
And I have the Spiceworks on here, and then I want to go onto my Spiceworks cloud, the Spiceworks cloud service you guys have for ticketing, right?
The cloud help desk, right?
Right. How do you switch between them on the app?
I don't know. I'll have to ask that question. I don't know how that works.
My boss just emailed me that. He goes, how do I switch? He's got his own he's testing another one out. And he's got.
I've never tried it myself. I mean, I set one up last year and I did a presentation on it during one of our Tampa meetings. But I didn't approach the phone app part of it. So let me research that. I'll get back, I'll try to maybe bring it up at the next meeting.
I might just put it on the Spicer.
Yeah, but by all means, if you have any questions that we can't answer, just go to the forums and just.
Yeah, I just put it out because it's a valid question, because I use it at home for my personal side work I do. And then I use this for the city work, so how can I switch between?
Other than, go in and, because I know like when I went to configure, I'd say, okay, here's the address of my server. I mean, there's an address to the cloud help desk, so.
Because the only way I know how to do it now is to log out, physically log out of the app,
Mhm.
and then log into the next account, that goes between them, but it should be, it's almost like if you go to, I'm gonna say Gmail, if you go to Gmail, you click a little thing, say, okay, which one do you want to use? You should be like,
Right,
log out and say,
right.
I've already authenticated myself on these
Well,
different.
here's all I can say is if it's not a feature now, then submit a feature request. And if it gets enough community interest, I can show you. If you go to their feature request section, basically you submit an idea, right, or a request. Then people who monitor that, they can spice it up, and the more spice ups a feature request or an idea has, the more likely the developers will investigate and research and develop that idea as a feature. So that would be my suggestion. If it's not a feature already, to have a way to maybe set up multiple accounts that you can switch between using the phone app or the mobile app.
I do like the mobile app a lot, that was nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's always tweaks that you can do. Again, just go,
It's missing a couple things.
Yeah, I mean, but again, if there's features that you want to see, then you just need to generate interest in the forums and let the developers see what people are talking about in the forums, and then maybe they can research. Okay, how do we bring this into the thing? Because you figure they're constantly working on different stuff. So there's probably, I mean, that feature request section it's thousands of ideas, but not all of them can.
The thing is not to get around and all of them not.
Right. I mean, they can only focus on stuff that will work, right? Essentially, but. Never hurts to post to say, hey, what do you think? Can we have this feature? We think it would be a good idea. And if it, like I said, if it generates a lot of interest, then it'll, they'll take a look at it and see if it's something they can have. But right now, other than logging out, I mean, that would be the only way I could think to do it.
Yeah.
Without me testing it myself.
It'd be nice. I mean, it's convenient more than anything else.
Sure, absolutely. Upcoming meetings. So next month we're having the meeting. It's semi-official. It's at the X-Byte office down in Bradenton. For those of you who are familiar with X-Byte, they sell a lot of I wouldn't call it aftermarket Dell machines, but they sell a lot of Dell servers. At a very discounted prices compared to buying brand new off of the from Dell site. So we're going to be meeting there, and so they're not officially sponsoring per se, but in our next two meetings, those are the dates, but we don't have locations determined just yet. So those are to be determined, but those are the dates. The dates are good. We typically meet on the third Tuesday of the month from 6 to 8, and we rotate. For those of you new to the meetings, we rotate our location between the three counties that surround Tampa Bay. So this month we're here in Hillsborough County. Next month we'll be down in Manatee County, and then we'll be over in Pinellas County in August, right? No, in July, and then we're back in the Tampa area in August. So just come visit our forums. We post more meeting details as we finalize the locations and sponsors. We try to reach out to sponsors to see if they can maybe pay for the food or whatever, some swag. Any questions before we break?
I have a question, just two quick things.
Okay.
For starters, thanks everybody for coming out. For all you techie folks, we're hosting an event the first weekend of June called Codapalooza. Basically, it's being put on by the Tampa Bay Innovation Alliance, along with Hillsborough County and the Homeless Innovation Alliance. And developers are coming in for the whole weekend. T10 is donating the resources, as in like some cloud infrastructure, a server, and they are developing an application for the homeless. Believe it or not, 90% of all homeless people carry a smartphone. So
Really?
Yeah. So
Wow.
Seen enough. So when you're seeing these people on the side of the road, instead of giving them money or giving them food, it's to say, hey, here's an application.
Give them a top up.
Well, there is going to be some donating through that, but really, what is that?
So is it, it's interesting, I mean, are they gonna have like tracking so you know where the homeless are all the time?
Well, a couple years ago, was it San Francisco? They had these, they were giving homeless people basically they were a mobile hotspot. They had them wear equipment and a sign saying, I'm a mobile hotspot. I'm serious. The vendors or the IT companies that were doing that, they got a lot of bad press on that.
It's also fun, I mean, come on,
Right, because they would wear signs, I'm a mobile hotspot.
I mean, that's
Or something,
fun,
yeah. Anyway, it was exploitation.
Too, they're not.
Right, like if my beach umbrella was a mobile antenna, I'd stick it everywhere, like, it's a mobile hotspot, and steal all your data.
Well, like I said, anyway, so what was it again?
It's called Codapalooza.
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 It's a hackathon.
Okay,
We just wanna call it a
Codapalooza.
hackathon because, it's taking place here.
In its first week of
June.
June.
So if anyone wants to get involved, there's a big billboard out there, kind of with all the information. I'll get you all my card before you go. If there's anything I can do.
Where's it going to be located?
It'll be right here.
Here, all right.
Yep. So on Friday night, there'll be a big grand, event. The mayor will be here. There'll be food and drink and music out there. They'll
Nice.
kick it out. It's gonna be a pretty cool
Is
event.
a black tie in there?
No. Very casual.
What's the date on that?
I think it's the 2nd and 3rd.
When,
No.
Starting
I'll
when?
get you- Everyone just grab a card and if you're interested in it, I can get you all the details. I can put you in touch with Kelly Sims with Tampa Bay Innovation Alliance. If you want to put together a team, I mean, really, they're going to come together and there's going to be, what are like pods and they're going to, it's that.
Oh.
And then
What-
the other thing is I am business development executive here at P10. So if there's anything I can do to help out, please feel free to let me know. I think I've met you before, Rick. I'm pretty sure while I was with Service Express, I met with you over at Park.
Oh, yeah.
When you were working on the Avaya project at the time?
We went a different direction.
You did, okay. But I think that's what you're talking about at that point. So nice to see you.
I mentioned that was easy.
I have not been to Luigi, but I'm familiar with Luigi. We had a Service Express representation there 1 year, so maybe that's where I get around, I come on live, so. Sorry, thanks, Jeff. Didn't mean to-
all right, no, not at all. That's awesome. Okay, so that concludes the meeting for today. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Hope to see you at the next one. What time does that thing start?
I'll go grab
All
some
right.
information for all of you guys.
All right, well, that's it. You're welcome to hang out and just network amongst yourselves and, anyway, hey, thank you, Aaron, for trying it out. It didn't work, but it was a good attempt. All right. And to we don't have any viewers, but anyone watching this on YouTube, thank you, and hope to see you at the next meeting. Peace out.
As you were saying, a DP to HDMI, I have been